Hey, what's up, everyone? So the other day, when I posted my video, my build guide for the Exsanguinate Elementalist, and I made an offhand comment talking about how insane golems were for leveling, and then I also mentioned Creeping Frost leveling. A lot of you, like a couple dozen at least, have asked for a leveling guide. So that's what this is. It's going to be pretty bare bones, but I will provide a simple POB, and I'm going to explain a few things here about how it works. And hopefully that's enough. If it's not, you can join the stream at twitch.tv/subtractem Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. EST, and ask some questions if you want some more detail. But yeah, just to quickly demonstrate, I did an SSF run right here with my character. I am level 39 now. I did like a test run here before I started recording. I was 37 before that. 39, but I have 5 points unallocated, so essentially level 34 in a level 38 zone. I stopped leveling my gems as well, so they're the same level as if I were level 36 or so or whatever. Low level gems, and this is shortly after I leveled up my my golems. And I just want to show what this looks like. So the idea here is that we're using Creeping Frost. What's nice about Creeping Frost is that it is an AoE skill that also can shotgun on single target. And that's basically it. So as we scale area of effect, as we scale spell damage, cold damage, projectile damage, all of that is nice for us for dealing additional damage. Area damage is really, really good for us, as well as AoE because it's easier to shotgun. And hopefully this looks pretty comfortable to you. This is a very humble setup. Like I said, this was an SSF run. And I got my golems going and everything, and it should look pretty good to you. The nice thing about the golems is we get chaos resistance, we get a lot of life regen. Like I have 47 chaos res with 0 on my gear right here. And with all that life regen, the increased defenses, all that type of stuff, it allows us to just straight up run. I'm running Zealotry and Herald of Ice right now, and it feels really, really good. Let's get to Calm right here, to Calm, so we can show a little bit of the single target. The key here is we are able to run GMP to be able to shotgun. Now, you can run GMP and volley. I have a little bit of rubber band right there. We've had some server issues since league start. But you can run GMP and volley at the same time, and you can theoretically shotgun even better right there. But we're not too concerned about that because it's actually better. Like, that's only on very, very large targets like Kitava or something like that. So let's show the single target here on Kaum. And because we have so much life regen, like hopefully you just want to shotgun, right? Like stand right on him, shotgun him. Pretty good, right? That should look pretty darn good. It's not the most busted setup in the world, but it is incredibly, with all that life regen, right? Like I'm getting 124 life regen, almost 10% per second just from my fire golem. And wait, there is one more thing. Before I started any of this, I unequipped my weapon. I wanted to make it a little bit extra special. This was with no weapon whatsoever. That's how much damage that it was. And in fact, up until I was wearing this weapon before, and I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I could just probably take this off and the damage would look almost exactly the same. That is actually just how powerful the golems are, because specifically with the flame golem and the lightning golem, we're getting a lot of cast speed and a lot of increased damage. Like it just shoots up like crazy. It's like getting, I don't know, 10, 15 free passive points on your tree as soon as you get those golems, not to mention the defense from the stone and the chaos golems. So as soon as you hit Act 4, it's absolutely busted. Before this, it feels okay. Honestly, until you get golems, until you ascend, you can use whatever you want. I was using Freezing Pulse until I got to Merveil's Caverns. Then I swapped over to Creeping Frost, which felt fine. Creeping Frost through Act 2 and Act 3 felt totally fine. It doesn't feel busted, but it felt just very comfortable because of the chill, because of the freeze, as a nice defensive layer. I'm actually running Ellie Focus right here, so I can't even inflict chill or freeze at the moment. I just wanted to go for as much damage as possible, kind of just demonstrating how good it can be. And there's a lot. This is totally non-twinked, right? This is just SSF gear that I picked up off the ground. This was my SSF run that I did a couple of days ago. That's really the crux of it, is that with GMP right here, like I said before, you can run GMP and volley. I don't recommend it because they do kind of go with volley, they'll go in a straight line. It'll be a bunch of projectiles, but you're not going to get that overlap. And the nice thing is we get increased area effect from the flame golem, which actually makes it a lot easier to get that shotgun. But specifically, you want to stand like right in the monster, and you'll get the shotgun, and you can get a lot of single target. But there's way more that you can do. So just as some bonus stuff, there are a ton of uniques that you can do to make this feel way, way, way better. If you want to make this way easier, you can use life sprigs when you're in Act 1. As soon as you hit level 12, towards the end of Act 1, you can equip Ash Collars, which gives you a ton of flat damage, which is really nice to have. And the Summon Raging Spirits are pretty nice benefit right there. Of course, Doja's Damning, Kikazaru, Gold Rim, Belt of Deceiver. Karui Ward is actually really, really good for us because the projectile damage, projectile speed feels really good. And then the movement speed is always goated. And it's actually pretty cool to have the Karui Ward working well for a spell that we can use while leveling. And then also, Brine Rot Railers actually work really well because they can get up to 40% increased projectile damage, which feels pretty nice as well. And they have really good, but it has pretty good base stats on it as well. So that's really the crux of it. In terms of the passive tree, very, very simple, very traditional. The only big difference is we're going through cold skills. Like I said, I used Freezing Pulse until I got Creeping Frost at level 12. And Freezing Pulse feels fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not as good as Rolling Magma, but the Slow and Chill actually makes things like the Roas, in my opinion, feel easier. Like, as long as you're willing to attack them. Like, it's not a speed run strat, but as long as you are okay with chilling and freezing them and killing them, I actually think it feels way better than Rolling Magma. But if you're speedrunning, you're not casting spells anyway. You're just kind of dodging them. So we go through the cold stuff. We want to go straight up through Cruel Prep here and then straight to the cold stuff at the moment up here. So grab Heart of Ice first, then grab Breath of Rime. This mastery, you do have to find a little bit more fire res, but just having that mastery for +1 to level of all your cold skill gems feels incredible. It's like a really nice damage boost. And then around here, you're going to get about level 32 to 34. You're going to want to move into the golem nodes. So then you're ready when you get those golems. So you can buy the golems from Oyen. So you get the first golem from Oyen as soon as you open the gate in Act 4. So you do your Dried Lake, you open the gate, then you can walk to Oyen, you get your first free golem, then you can walk over to the gem vendors and buy the other 3 golems. And like I said, we run Stone, Chaos, Lightning, and Flame golems. What I'm using right here, Creeping Frost with Controlled Destruction, LE Focus, and GMP. So we will later on be pathing past Elemental Overload, in which case you wouldn't run Controlled Destruction, but, you know, the uptime of LE Overload, unless you're running a crit flask, like, that's why I picked up these diamond rings off the ground. You know, that's entirely viable if you want to do that and go for a crit-based setup. You definitely should go for that. We're not really worried about that right now because we're doing so much damage anyway. So you're going to path past here. You can go down here, grab Stormweaver, grab Purity of Flesh, grab Sovereignty. Then the nice thing here is because we're using golems, it's also an additional benefit for just keeping them alive and keeping ourselves alive, is we can take this entire wheel, which will give us, I believe, about 100% increased damage or so. So I think you get 72 through here, and then another 36 right here. So you get 106 plus another 20, so 126% increased damage for this entire wheel, which, if we're already going past it, it's pretty good. And then we grab Divine Judgment by getting increased effective damaging ailments. So we go through there, and then down here through Devotion and Holy Dominion up to Discipline and Training and Retribution. So because we have Spiritual Aid, Retribution is actually giving us 30% increased damage, and cast speed is also damage for us. Not to mention area damage and area effect is good. We can grab Amplify, we can grab Precision, but at about this level, you're going to be done with the campaign. And after that, yeah, this setup does fall off pretty hard around yellow maps. It's fine until yellow maps, actually. Like, I didn't bother even changing or going to a real league starter until about yellow maps, but as long as you're willing to respec a little bit later, through the campaign was seriously busted. Like, hopefully that Calm Kill was a pretty good demonstration of, you know, how much damage you can do with 0 weapon equipped. That's the basis of it. I do want to show you guys one more thing, if you're willing to twink yourself out here. And that is the, actually forget the name of it. There is this wand right here called the Mystic Refractor. So you can buy these. I bought these just right now. So the most important thing is the Skills Fire 3 additional projectiles, about 20 to 25 chaos per. You can go for rolls on projectile damage and speed, which are really nice stats for us. But if we don't worry about that, the cool thing here is it can fire 3 additional projectiles. So if I equip 2 of these, I am shooting an absolute insano mode number of projectiles. And because of this, we can also get rid of GMP and put in something like added cold damage, added lightning damage if you have a blue socket, or hypothermia. Hypothermia doesn't work very well with LE Focus, of course, but we're using Frostblink. And so we can Frostblink and not worry about the hypothermia as long as we continually do that to chill the monster. And this way we will attack, or rather cast, very, very, very quickly, and it just deletes everything. I'll go to this zone boss just to show, but yeah, we get the full 4 link worth of damage, and we get the benefit of cast speed, projectile speed, and projectile damage, all which helps us a lot. So let's just see what this looks like on this guy. So debuff him and a couple of casts. Let's go to the zone boss right here. And in fact, you know, as I had before, I was using shield charge, and I actually recommend just keeping the shield charge to go faster. You don't need this double setup, but it is it is really funny. So yeah, you know, I don't think this is a like godlike optimal setup or whatever. Really, the crux here is the golems allowing you to just pick your favorite spell. That's really my intention here, is to show you that you can pick your favorite spell on an elementalist. You know, grab. You can use lightning tendrils. You can use fireball. You can honestly use fireball if you want to. Fireball, whatever. But we have the additional benefit of creeping frost. The fact that it's shotguns really enables some kind of like degenerate stuff that I think is pretty nasty. And I was actually thinking just a second ago, before I started recording, was with all of the projectiles. All right, let's see. 2 casts. So 2 casts. That thing just got deleted, and it's pretty sick. So yeah, with the Mystic Refractor, just having a lot of projectiles, just mix and match, pick something that is really fun to you. Yeah, so I was actually thinking maybe even Eye of Winter with all the additional projectiles could feel kind of cool. Now, the downside you know, that I didn't point out is the bottom line here says projectiles can't continue after colliding with targets, which means that it disables all of the full chain of split, pierce, fork, chain, return. That whole sequence gets disabled if you're using this wand. And that's why it's not really the most popular wand in the world. At high level, you want some of those, right, to be able to clear the whole screen. It's actually just perfectly made for creeping frost, because it actually doesn't care, because we're just doing AoE on the ground and shotgunning with that. And so it's perfectly fine with creeping frost. But Eye of Winter, usually you do want to pierce with Eye of Winter, but for just clearing through the campaign, this actually might feel pretty good too if you're using these wands, just to have a ton of projectiles making sure it hits everything. Probably not that good, but might feel fun. Just a thought. Anyway, that's it. I'll have a very simple POB, maybe a couple of different things just showing the progression there. There'll be the drop downs that you can go through it, and that's it. Just a fun thing that I had, you know, that I learned as I was playing around leveling a new character. Wanted to try something different. I was sick of rolling magma. I think everyone is. Every league start, you know, people come in chat and they're like, "Hey, you're using rolling magma. Can I use something else?" And I think at least with you know, with this elementalist change, you can use whatever the heck you want. And that's very freeing. It feels really nice to just get off that. But once you get the golems, it really pops off. And I think, you know, it's a nice alternative to the regular cremation, whatever, armor brand cremation stuff as well. So, hey, give it a shot. So anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want some more. And hope to see you guys on Twitch. All right, catch you later.